Is there anybody out there?
Are you doing a Pink Floyd thing?
Sure am.
God, you need to cut that out.
Nope.
Jeez.
What's going on, everybody? This is the tagline.
Why are you doing it? You have no voice.
Oh, yeah. No, I've got a voice now, supposedly.
Not really.
Somewhat.
What's going on, guys? It's the tagline. We're the Cinefanatics. My name is Chris Adams.
And I'm Robert Adams.
And this is the show where the tagline is the title.
Yeah, that's a great tagline there.
I sound confused by that every single time.
That's the point. So, yeah, what's going on, everyone? It is Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m. Central Time. It's actually like 9:33.
Lean all the way back.
Sounds like a personal problem.
All right. This is where we sit the rest of the show.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, it's been a week.
It's been a week.
It's been a week since our last show.
It's been exactly a week.
There's been a lot. Okay, so this week actually has felt like a month.
Dude, this whole month has felt like 3
years. A year, yeah. I was like, this past month was the worst year ever.
You tried to guess what I was going to say, and I got you.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
Yep.
So, yeah, this has been kind of a brutal week, at least I would say for me, health-wise.
Yeah, you had the COVID.
No, I didn't.
No.
So, here in Austin, Texas, this is a huge oak pollen season right now.
And cedar.
Worst time ever. No, cedar was back in winter. Cedar is December, January, and February.
Welcome to Allergy Fanatics.
The Allergy Fanatics. I'm Robert Adams. I'm going to tell you my allergies.
He's sneezy, I'm dopey.
That's actually accurate.
You can't say anything to that. I made the joke for you.
Yeah, good job. Can someone be Doc? I need to find Doc.
Right.
I thought I was usually grumpy. Anyways, beside the point. We have a lot of oak pollen, and apparently, doing day-to-day activities, I got some oak pollen down the old mouth hole, and had a complete, total eclipse of my throat.
Down the old throat-a-rooney.
Throat-a-rooney. Just
Totally
deep in there, and just, it messed up the throat, just deep in the throat. So, just, it completely just, obliterated my vocal cords for, 5 days? I think it roughly started on Thursday.
It seems like that way.
I went to work and sounded like a kid going through puberty because my voice was, cracking all the time, ups and downs.
Well, that's just normal, though.
Oh, no, it's not. I had no voice come Friday.
No, it's not.
Yeah, and for most of the day Saturday. By Saturday night, I was sounding like James Earl Jones. I put on my Twitter, I tried doing James Earl Jones's voice. That was just my straight voice, no modulation or anything.
It sounded like James Earl Jones if he was trying to do a Jack Nicholson impression.
Yeah. Well, what was funny on that is I went back after I posted that on Twitter, and one of my followers posted the clip from Ghostbusters when Bill Murray's talking to Sigourney Weaver after she's been possessed, and she's like, "There is no Dana, only Zool." I was like, okay, that actually sounds more like what my voice was doing at that time. Only Zool. So I was like, that was pretty funny. Or it sounded like, what's his name?
Mufasa.
No, well, that's James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
The guy who does Honest Trailers.
Oh yeah, John Bailey.
John Bailey, when he used to, they don't do it anymore.
Epic voice guy.
Yeah, the epic voice guy, but he used to do the beeps on there. Yeah, that was the voice that it sounded like. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Send in your super chats right now for something to read in that epic voice.
In this epic voice. Here's the thing, my voice isn't still fully recovered. I still hear some scratchiness right now.
And it'll be even worse by the end of this.
It'll be worse by the end of this particular episode.
I'll be doing most of the talking by the end of the show.
Probably. Which is why I was wanting to do the intro. Thank you. So I already down some warm honey and whiskey, so hopefully that helps with the throat, but
the whiskey wasn't for the throat.
No, it's never for the throat. Anyways, how's your week been?
It's been a week. So here's basically how the week has been. It's been one of these. Look, there's another train car in this too. There's 2 of them. That's how the week has been. It's been a roller coaster, but it's been like 2 roller coasters.
Oh, it's a roller coaster. I don't like roller coasters,
almost
so I didn't
crashing into each other.
I didn't get that reference.
You don't have to like roller coasters to understand how a roller coaster works, you dingus.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's been. I was waiting for you to bust out in the song. Yeah, it's been
1 week since you looked at me.
There it goes.
Birchmont Stadium, home of the Robbie.
That's exactly how much of that song that we can do before we get copyright. Yeah, no, it's been all over the place. Been dealing with some things and pushing through some things, and honestly, like everything that's going on in the world still, and will be going on in the world for the foreseeable future, has just got me down. And I cling to any kind of good news I see anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm down, I'm down, and when I'm up, I'm doing pretty good. So
what I like,
it's everywhere.
What I like about this is kind of shifting everyone's, I guess, perspective. Is now, like, we're used to normal being here. New normal is now essentially, I would say, down here. And it's now, how are you finding ways to stay positive during this time?
I don't feel good with calling it new normal. I'm not ready to commit to this being kind of a normal.
Temporary normal.
That's the exact opposite of a normal.
I know. Abnormal normal.
Temporary permanence.
We should actually just call it normal and just stick a picture of the cute gray kitten from Garfield on there. Nice. And then ship him. He was a him. Yep. Ship his little butt over to Abu Dhabi.
Please do Normal's voice right now.
I can't do Normal's voice. I am the complete opposite of Normal's voice.
You're closer to Lorenzo Music as Garfield.
I was doing Garfield or Venkman from the Ghostbusters cartoon.
Yeah.
Which that was a weird. I don't know if anyone ever noticed that.
Is that Lorenzo Music also?
So Lorenzo Music is known for doing the voice of Garfield. And there was Garfield movies, so this is still movie related.
Bill Murray.
Yeah. Lorenzo Music did the voice of Garfield, but he also did the voice of...
Okay, you get to justify this is still movie related. No, it's not.
He also did the voice of Peter Venkman in the 80s real Ghostbusters cartoon, which was funny because Peter Venkman was played by Bill Murray, and then when they did the live-action Garfield movie, live-action Garfield Murray, Garfield movie, there's that honey and whiskey from earlier.
It's not the honey, I promise you it's not the honey.
Bill Murray played Garfield. Completely wrong voice. Just did not work.
I thought it was fine. I thought that wasn't the thing that was wrong with that movie. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
The voice was fine. I think that movie should have taken some cues from the future production of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. That should have been when they released the trailer. Everyone's like, that's not how Garfield looks.
Mostly because they redid Sonic in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Sonic is animated. Oh, but guess what? Spoilers if you haven't seen Sonic the Hedgehog, sorry. The appearance of the other character at the end was also CG. Done exactly the same as Sonic.
Which always led me to, like, since we've seen that movie, I've wondered, like, did they have that character already rendered in the same crappy animation that Sonic originally was? I don't think so,
because it was a really quick scene. I think they just
waited till, like, okay, let's see how people think about this Sonic, and then we'll redo the other character.
Probably one of the last things that they did.
Yeah.
At the end. But what I'm saying is that all Sonic characters are going to look like that. Whereas if you go back to that stupid Garfield movie and its stupid sequel, Garfield was CG, but all the other animals, including Yodi and Normal... Yodi?
Mark Riley was in this. Mark Riley is a movie trivia Schmoedown personality. He also has his own YouTube channel. He's fantastic. Go check him out.
Anyway, so yeah, Odie and Normal were all real animals. That didn't look anything like the cartoon versions.
Yeah. Yeah,
welcome to Garfield Movie Talk. Where we're talking about the Garfield movie for some stupid reason. It was terrible.
It was bad. What is funny before we get off this subject is here in Austin, Texas, like right down the road, not too far, there actually is a crossroad in a neighborhood of Garfield and Odie. Just out of all the streets, it's just those particular two meet. Garfield and Odie, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I've driven by that once while doing some grocery delivery, and I was like, really? Why here of all places? What is the significance of this location in Austin?
No John Arbuckle, no Liz, no Normal, no other characters, whatever the mouse's name was or whatever. No other characters. Just Garfield, Odie, that's it.
Yeah. So that's so weird. A couple people in the chat tonight to shout out already. We got Danny Cost, we got Tyler, and we got Garth. So happy to have all of them here.
And Audrey.
And Audrey's here also. All right. Awesome. I like Garth's comment. I haven't seen Sonic yet, but I can guess who appears at the tail's end.
Ah, funny. Wasn't that the brand of popcorn we sold as Boy Scouts? You were never in the Boy Scouts.
Nope.
Oh, I was.
Yeah, no, I could never commit to that kind of thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was weird. Anyway, then here another thing, speaking of Boy Scouts, the other thing that I've noticed that is starting to...
Is that you sounding like a Boy Scout?
No.
Oh.
That is going to be eventually become a huge problem is the weight of my head is getting heavier. Due to... No, not because of that. I'm not trying to sound arrogant or egotistical or anything.
That wasn't what I was thinking.
Uh-huh. It's because of the amount of hair. This is like a month-long beard, and this is not getting cut. Pretty much, you know me, ever since the military, I've always kept it short here. Well, there's no haircuts. All the barbershops are closed.
Yep.
And the longest I've ever let a beard go was about like a month and a half or so. So pretty soon, this head's going to be like, there's too much hair.
So here's the thing. You have the freedom to do two things. One, shave this. You have the ability to shave this, which is more likely of the two options I'm giving you here.
That's preposterous.
The other option is cue ball.
No, I absolutely look terrible bald-headed. I did see that when I was in the military. That's not a sight that anyone should have to behold.
So then I don't want you to complain about that, especially because you could just shave the head and keep the beard, which would be a very interesting look for you. That being said, you're not the only one who's going through this too. I mean, I could shave. This isn't applying any weight to my head. Let's be honest about that.
It's not applying any weight to anything.
It's barely applying some color to my chin. On the other hand, getting my hair to look like this tonight, took about 10 minutes worth of work of pulling and tugging with some product.
So, quick behind the scenes as we were setting up, he came up in the front of the hair was like pretty much just sticking straight up. And my first thought was like, is that hair gel?
That was your first thought because I came out saying, look, I'm rocking the Something About Mary tonight.
Well, if you're going to give away the joke behind the scenes, well, now you know the line and the movie it came from.
Because I thought my joke was better.
It was.
So, Garth says Chris cut Robert's hair in a live stream.
So there's the Streamlabs link that's up there above his head. And then there's
what number
also...
should we get to tonight for me to do that?
We're going to shoot for about 2,000. I think 2,000 is a nice round number.
Nobody's going to go for it if you do that.
Oh, darn!
Is your hair really more important than money right now?
That's all I got left.
So if we get to 200 tonight...
No.
I will shave the sides of his head and give him a really awkward high and tight. Oh, there goes the chair. Hey, we got it.
He's achieved lean backage.
The chair finally got into the groove that I'm in tonight. Yeah, mostly out of frame.
Danny say, we're all going to look like Rick Grimes after this. Yeah, pretty much.
That is not a lie. That is not a lie. All right. I gotta be honest. We have some things that we want to talk about tonight, but we didn't put them in any form of
order of importance.
Order of importance, other than I guess what we have as the title, or a lot of shows they write out, the plan for the show, give it to everybody who's on the show,
so everyone has a good idea of like the direction the show's going.
Yeah,
but not us. We're not professional at all.
No, and let's be honest, he sleeps over there, I sleep over here, we live together.
We're brothers.
We're talking about this. No, we're talking about this for. I'm not going there. We're talking about this throughout the week or throughout the last day and a half. So we're pretty much we pretty much know where we're going with things. So on this show, we fly by the seat of our pants until we don't anymore. Which, to be honest, we might not fly by the seat of our pants next week, and
especially if we run out of toilet paper.
Yeah.
No seat pants flying there.
And we may or may not get into why we have to probably plan things out a little bit better next week. I'll say towards the end. So stay tuned for...
There's something in the making. There's something in progress right now.
I've got the date secured. I don't know. Do you feel like we should make that announcement at the end as a confirmation?
Do we need to get confirmation first? Is that something that...
I don't think so.
Oh.
I think we're pretty confirmed.
Oh.
But I'm just making sure.
And next week is good.
We're
doing planning live on the...
Yeah. So we planned for next week.
Okay. So as of right now, yes.
We'll leave the specifics of it at the end.
Stay tuned to the end of this.
This is how we get you to stay throughout the entire stream, or come back later.
Yeah, or stop watching now and come back later.
Yeah.
At the end of the stream, my voice is already going. I can hear it now.
Yep.
At the end of the stream, we'll make
you don't have to project that much.
Good announcement as to what's going to happen next week. It's going to be fantastic. It's also going to be something that has not been done on the tagline and really hasn't been done on our channel at all. So that's a nice little hint there.
Yeah.
We're venturing into new waters with this one.
New territory, which...
Or at least for this channel.
We might need to work out a little kinks before next week, but hey, stay tuned. You'll find out what's going on at the end here. Danny, Coral, stay in the house. Coral.
Like Garth, first you referenced something about Mary, now you reference running out of toilet paper like in Along Came Polly Stiller night. I mean, we could just see where the night takes us. I'm a big fan of, I'm going to say I'm a big fan of this movie and then completely forget the name of it. The Heartbreak Kid. And then I completely remember the name of it. Heartbreak Kid. Stupid movie.
Malin Akerman.
Yes.
I still never know if I'm pronouncing her name
correctly. Malin Akerman.
Malin Akerman.
She's got like umlauts or something over her, over the A.
Malin Akerman.
Yeah, no. Anyways, stupid movie.
Heartbreak Kid?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But I liked it. I really liked... Oh, the voice. I liked it, guys. Like Zoic Scoob.
If you keep trying to do voices, you're going to ruin it even more.
I'm gonna go straight into Shaggy with this one.
I mean, you're getting the look down.
Garth, place your bets now when Robert's voice will go out fully. I bet on the 44-minute mark. I mean, I'm down for this. This is gonna be kind of funny.
I think you're being very generous, Garth.
Yeah, I think it's got probably a good solid maybe 10, 20 minutes at most.
I'm saying 5. I do like Tyler here. Tyler catches all the references, and I want to give him a high 5 for that. I also like that we have no mods in our chat tonight. Behave, everybody. I say that, but we're both in our chat, so.
Yeah. So we are...
Our full name is Paul Blart Malin Akerman. I'm just going to intentionally pronounce her name incorrectly every time. Malin Akerman.
Yeah.
This is the kind of fun content you turn into this channel for.
I'm just going through the chat. If y'all have any questions, let us know. Drop some questions over there in the chat. I'm pointing down like the chat's below me. It's actually like...
Nope. Other way. There you go.
I feel like the Scarecrow from Wizards of Oz. Some people go that way. Some people go that way. But most people just go both way. Whatever. It's that one. Chat's over there.
It's that side, yeah.
Yeah, okay. We're all pointing in the... Congratulations, you have just successfully passed your masterclass, How to Point 101. Pointing goes that way, pointing goes that way.
This is a movie channel.
There's the x-axis, the y-axis. There's also the z-axis. I don't know.
Axis?
Axis. Yeah.
This is a movie channel, guys. So we're about 20 minutes in. That's usually about the time that we start talking about something actually important rather than what's going on in our lives, because none of that's ever important.
Yeah. So which one would you like to start with?
Well, there's a lot of stuff. I only wrote down really like 3 things. I know there's some other stuff like there's some really touchy, kind of controversial stuff in terms of I don't know if you saw that Ezra Miller video. I didn't watch the video. I've just heard about what happened.
I didn't see the video, but I'm guessing this has something to do with I guess it just came out today that it's in question whether or not Ezra Miller's going to continue playing the Flash.
I mean, from what I heard, as long as what happened isn't a setup, isn't like staged, which again I haven't seen the video. I haven't dug deep enough to find it yet, I guess. But yeah, that's going to cause some issues.
So I have not seen this video. I don't know what it's about, but I'm guessing he says something controversial.
No. So what it sounds like happened was, and I know we're going to get corrected in the chat as well. That's fine. What happened was a fan was saying something, or I guess annoying him, or saying, choke me, or something like that. Just a very weird thing, and he actually did it. But it sounded like he was like enraged about it. I don't know. I really don't know what happened. I kind of don't know if I actually even want to watch the video. Garth says it's staged goofiness. Hey, if that's the case, then the Flash movie's fine. As fine as it has.
Is this like a bedroom video or something?
No, he was like talking to a fan. It was like an actual like public fan interaction of some sort.
And the fan just randomly was like, choke me, and he's like, oh, okay.
I have no idea, but yeah, what happened? All I know is that he actually I think choke slammed somebody.
Oh,
which okay. If you're doing that for real, if it's not stage goofiness like Garth says, if you're doing that for real, have fun with your career, buddy.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he won't be playing Flash. He will be playing the new Superman, though, because he's got the strength for it.
Slow strangles a female fan who was waving her arms like she wanted to fight him. So, okay. So it sounds like he's retaliating against somebody who... It's on TMZ and it's just 3 seconds long. Well, here's the thing that we know about TMZ.
Yes, we did, Tyler. I don't know if you had that in your news lineup.
I actually did not hear about this. This just happened today?
No, it was actually a couple of days ago. Disney Plus is going to get the X-Men movies.
Oh, well, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense because those are Fox properties, and now Fox is a Disney property.
And since it's all Marvel...
Yeah, I mean, that's cool.
Yeah, because I would love to, sit there and just put on, X-Men, X2, X-Men United while I fall asleep.
You said the full title.
X-Men, X2, X-Men United.
I will never state the emancipation of one fantabulous Harley Quinn or whatever.
Until now.
And I don't even know if I got it right.
Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, new title.
Right, correct. Live, die, repeat.
By the way, the Honest trailer that came out today, fantastic on that. Yeah, that was so good.
They really nailed it on that one. Yeah, no, I didn't hear about the X-Men coming to Disney Plus, but I mean, it makes sense, and
because they were already rocking the animated series and X-Men Evolution on Disney Plus.
Yeah, they were doing pretty much most X-Men animated properties.
Yeah.
That's great. That's fine. I'll put them on until MCU starts pumping out X-Men movies, and then I'll forget about them.
The first 2 X-Men movies.
I have not watched
Days of Future Past.
I have not watched Spider-Man 1, 2, or 3.
Here's the thing.
Or the Amazing Spider-Man movies. Since the MCU's brought Spider-Man in.
Here's the thing that dawned on me the other day is I have not seen Dark Phoenix since it was in the theater.
Same.
And I really just don't care. Even X-Men The Last Stand, there were things I liked about The Last Stand. And I've seen that movie multiple times. It's still a terrible movie. But I've seen it multiple times. It's enjoyable. It's an entertainment. It's stupid. It's crap. But it's still fun to watch.
Yeah.
Dark Phoenix? Not at all. And I've seen X-Men Apocalypse probably...
Well, to be fair...
5 times now?
Dark Phoenix is a better movie than X-Men Apocalypse. It's actually a lot better. A lot better.
Dang it, Tyler, you got us on this tangent.
It's a lot better, but that's fine. I'm okay with this. We got some time to fill. I think Dark Phoenix is a lot better than X-Men Apocalypse. X-Men Apocalypse is the weak link in the X-Men prequel movies.
And that had every right to be one of the best had they just done Apocalypse right.
Yeah, I mean, I would forgive the script. I would forgive how they did everything about it if Apocalypse looked comic accurate.
Yeah. Like, I was even a fan of Oscar Isaac playing Apocalypse.
Because you couldn't tell it was Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, you could tell. I mean, you could tell it was him. And even... I know. I know. I'm continuing your thought. You could tell it was him, and the makeup job that they put on him shows that they were heading in the right direction. They just didn't do that one little step further, in which you still could have maintained the Oscar Isaac aesthetic of his face, but still fully committing to believing this is Apocalypse from the comic, from the cartoon on the live action screen.
Gray out his face and give him some contacts?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's all you had to do.
And there was a part where his eyes were whited out during the mind fight with Xavier, but
that was some of the dumbest things though. Whenever they do that in those older comic book movies, it's like, hey, we're gonna do the comic accurate portrayal of them, but for like 5 seconds. Like freaking Iceman, that was in The Last Stand, right?
Yes, that was where he completely iced up. Yeah.
Cool. That looked great. That was awesome. I loved that. That was probably the best part of The Last Stand.
Mm-hmm. One of the better parts of it.
That real quick part.
Wolverine running through the woods, like just pretty much going to complete berserker,
almost
was good
until Logan,
and where he did it so much better, and you're like, all right.
Which, yeah, I mean, so these X-Men movies, 1 and 2, good. First Class and Days of Future Past, good.
Yeah.
All the rest of them have a lot of flaws.
Yeah.
AJ says the Quicksilver scene in Apocalypse was bomb, though.
Both the Quicksilver scenes, Apocalypse and from Days of Future Past, fantastic scenes.
Yeah.
Easily. I am a bigger fan of the original just because of the music used in it. I don't know if I feel like Sweet Dreams just really did not fit with that scene at all. Yeah, that just did not fit with that scene. It was like severely out of place.
That's kind of the point,
I guess.
And then Danny said, I skipped Dark Phoenix. Hey, you know what? I thought it was decent. I thought it was okay, but honestly, you're not missing much. It was good. It was all right. It was better than Apocalypse, but if you miss it, you miss it, and you can continue living life, and it's fine.
So what else is going on?
Yeah, what else is going on?
Uncomfortable silences.
Card says you don't care about Dark Phoenix, just like Jennifer Lawrence.
You know, I'm not a big Jennifer Lawrence fan. I mean, I thought the first Hunger Games was good.
First 2 Hunger Games were good.
I guess
Catching Fire was great, I thought.
I need to go back and watch it, I guess.
Yeah, the third and the fourth Hunger Games movies, I'm out.
Yeah.
Especially the fourth one. I hated the fourth one. And how long has it been since that's been out now?
It's been a while.
It's been a while. So I'm gonna bring up briefly kind of what happened in that movie, and people who've read the book also know. So I apologize if you haven't seen it or even cared to watch it at this point. It's Prim.
Yeah, her sister.
Her sister dies, and there's literally no fanfare around that. She mourns about it for like all of 2 minutes and then moves on. I'm like, that was the whole point. You got into the Hunger Games to protect her.
No, that's what.
And then she dies, and you mourn it for 2 minutes.
Did that happen in the book?
I believe it did. Yeah.
And I'm gonna take a wild stab in the dark that the book was a lot more elaborate on.
I don't know. From what I've heard by the people who read it, because I don't care to. I just don't care. I watch movies more than I read the books, technically speaking. From what I heard, that it was done pretty roughly about the same as the book.
This isn't the Library Fanatics channel.
Yeah, we're not the Book of Fanatics. So yeah, I don't like that story beat just made no sense to me. Like, why did we spend like a total of 2 minutes on this? It was the catalyst for Katniss being involved in anything to begin with. We're just randomly talking about random movies tonight.
Yeah. So Garth is asking if I'm not a fan of Silver Linings Playbook or American Hustle. Have not seen American Hustle. I want to see it.
Okay.
And I started watching Silver Linings Playbook at one point, and unfortunately I had to go do something. I haven't come back to it.
Wasn't that a good old David O. Russell?
Yes, both of those I believe were.
David O. Russell.
Wait, was American Hustle David O. Russell? Schmoedown.
Yeah, I believe so.
Who did, was it Joy? Wasn't Joy another Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence movie?
Why are you asking these questions?
I have no idea. Someone in the chat let me know.
The whole point of the movie channel is to prove that we actually know things, and you're bringing up stuff that you don't know.
Oh, yeah, I'm diving into one little portion I might not know.
Welcome to the last episode of the Tagline, ladies and gentlemen. It's been great having you here. Next week, we won't be here.
Or at least my voice won't.
Yeah, it's never coming back.
So, this isn't Collider Book Talk. Wow.
Welcome, Brian Nussbaum. I haven't seen him in the chat yet, so we're glad to have you here joining us.
Yeah.
Who else is here? There's other people that have popped in. AJ, thank you for popping up in here, AJ.
AJ Lancaster.
I'd say General AJ, but we're not Action Industries. We don't have generals. We don't even have a Patreon yet.
I mean, here's the thing: we can still respect the fact that AJ Lancaster is affiliated with that because it's just nice that he's supporting content creators.
We're respecting him more than Ben Bateman.
Wow. Earlier I saw was Justin Towns.
Justin Towns.
Yeah. So, yes, thank you all for joining us. Yeah, so Brian Nussbaum, yeah, everyone's confirming Silver Lining, American Hustle, and Joy were all David O. Russell. That's what I thought. Although Brian Nussbaum is misspelling David O. Russell.
Did he use the...
He went the Chance Ellison route.
David O. Russell, the finest Irish director.
For those who don't know the reference we're making, it's Chance Ellison, movie trivia, Schmoedown.
If you're watching our channel at this point, you know the Schmoedown.
We talk about the Schmoedown a lot.
Most everybody who pops up in our chat is aware of the Schmoedown.
Yeah.
If you are watching this on a replay and you're not aware of the Schmoedown, please go ahead and leave a comment down below. We'd like to know if you're just watching us because you just stumbled upon our channel.
Or if you're a fan of us from our trailer reactions, movie reviews.
Yeah, stumbled upon our channel. It'd be great to know that you're here. But yeah, I think most people know us from our fantastic Schmoedown reactions.
Absolutely.
I do say so myself.
Yeah. Dude, seriously, my voice is like living on a prayer right now. It's just barely holding on.
It's halfway there.
It's halfway there.
Whoa, living on a prayer.
It's actually so halfway there I'm not even going to sing, and that's tough for me. I love to sing.
Yeah, not good at it, but he loves to do it.
Hey!
I'm just spitting fire truth over here. So, aside from Hunger Games, and which we're probably all about to be in at this point pretty soon anyway, and who knows, the coronavirus could be turning us all into X-Men, I don't know. Relevance. Aside from these things...
Oh, Audrey says I stubbed my toe on your channel. That's awesome.
Oh, man.
That's how you stumble upon a movie channel right there.
We're pretty much not going to have a summer movie season.
Yeah, I think pretty much everyone gave it up.
For the first time since summer blockbusters have been a thing, we're just not going to have a summer movie season. There's a couple movies that are still on track for basically the tail end of the summer. But
August.
Yeah, right now, May releases, June releases are all pretty well gone.
Yeah.
We're expecting that theaters aren't necessarily going to be up and running through probably the next 2 months.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which is insane. I can't say that enough. It's insane what's happening with at least just the movie sphere.
Yeah, and again, we mentioned it, I think, in the previous weeks. I'm really eager to see how this fleshes out. How does this affect the industry? How does everything move, shift? What do we see? Are we going to see an uptick in... Like, you could go in, say, if it's a movie that you didn't think was going to do too well. Mm-hmm. Let's say, for example, Sonic the Hedgehog. We're like, okay, if they would have stuck with the original Sonic design, absolutely that movie was going to tank.
Yeah.
They corrected it, and I think therefore that kind of helped contribute to.
Although I think there is a real weird world where that movie actually does pretty well because everybody wants to see how big of a train wreck it is.
That too, but
Didn't help Cats.
no, not. But here's what Cats. Okay, Cats is a better example. If Cats was being delayed right now and being pushed to like August, would that help Cats overall compared to what it did back in December when it came out?
I would say yes, only if
They released the butthole cut.
No, gosh, no. Only if there's no other releases coming out at the same exact time.
Yeah.
And people have been stuck inside and they just want to get out and go see a movie. That's the only way I see Cat succeeds in that scenario. Otherwise, it's the same as it was. It's just awful, just awful.
Yeah. Garth McMurray is saying Pixar Soul is going to be streaming. I'll bet on it.
I would not bet on that, actually.
It's just saying that was at the time of like say February, about to go into March. Soul was. I think Soul released a trailer right before this all pretty much shut down this country.
Yeah.
Soul was on track to be the major movie that Pixar was pushing. Mm-hmm. If you remember, there's a couple of movies that Pixar has put a full amount of advertisement behind to push. Say, like, for example, Cars was not one of them.
It wasn't?
I wouldn't think so. I mean,
It got 2 sequels.
Yeah, but that's because it actually turned out well. But, I mean, like,
sequels did not.
Compared to how much... How much did Pixar push as far as Toy Story or Monsters, Inc.? Mm-hmm. Comparatively, or even Finding Nemo, comparatively to Cars, they didn't push Cars as much as they did those other ones.
I feel like you're going too far. I would say that I didn't really see any marketing, except for maybe a trailer towards The Good Dinosaur.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that one?
I mean, that's straight, like, bottom.
I'll be honest, I still haven't seen The Good Dinosaur.
I haven't
it's on
either.
Disney Plus. I'll watch it at some point.
I caught up on some Pixar I haven't seen. Since we got Disney Plus, I caught up watching Ratatouille and WALL-E. I hadn't seen them before. Watched them.
I think Good Dinosaur, Brave, and the Cars sequels
haven't seen Brave.
Are the only ones I haven't seen yet.
But
I'll watch all of them because I actually want to rank the Pixar movies at some point.
Maybe, did he say butthole? I thought this was a family-friendly channel. I'm writing an angry letter. Go ahead, Garth.
Garth caught us. We'll put it into our HR department and they'll get back to us.
So,
Lola!
Where's my cat?
She's the HR department and she'll have some words about us talking about the butthole edition of Cats.
Good luck with that. She flashes her butthole all across this apartment. Yeah. So, I mean, regardless
of... Weird thing to say.
I know. Regardless of, like, where our opinion is, everyone who's watching understands there are Pixar movies that Pixar has definitely pushed more than others. Yeah. I feel like Onward wasn't pushed that much.
Not as much as some of the other ones.
Soul looked like it was on the incline to being pushed more heavily this year.
Soul feels like more of like a spiritual successor to Inside Out.
Yeah.
Whereas Onward just felt like a really experimental idea that we're not sure if it's going to work as well, but we're going to go ahead and do it anyway because it's a very personal project for the director, and we feel okay about it. Yeah. I think Onward, now having seen it, Onward was fantastic. It was a really good movie with a really good message. What I think they could have done is they could have done a lot more in terms of like character posters and just fun marketing, because the whole premise of the mythical world, but also with modern technologies like we see in our life and society, I think that whole premise is fantastic and hilarious. And for marketing, they could have done so much with that.
By the way, Onward is now available on Disney Plus. We highly recommend you check that out because that is one of the better movies of this year.
We're shills. No, we're not. Disney shills.
I would love to be a Disney shield. Disney, if you happen to be watching this live stream, I'm not drinking whiskey right now. I am talking about your fine product.
Drinking whiskey, and I don't want to see Cars 2.
Or Planes. Oh, God.
Oh, I forgot about Planes. Planes isn't even Pixar.
No.
It just took the same animation style.
Yeah.
So... things.
Onward was good, but it was Weekend at Bernie's meets Bright with a lot of D&D stuff. Yeah, pretty much.
That's true. That is actually really true. AJ says there's also a conspiracy theory that they made the first trailer of Sonic look awful on purpose to get the fan outcry and get more publicity. He said Kevin Smith mentioned it on his podcast.
Here's the thing.
I would believe it.
I'm not normally susceptible, I would say, to conspiracy theory.
You don't have a tinfoil hat?
No, I don't have
a tinfoil for that.
No, we just had to buy some the other night, and luckily we found it. But
it's not on shortage like toilet paper, and if it was, are people using tinfoil instead of toilet paper? Because
ow, rough. That's one step closer to the 3 seashells. I mean, I'm just gonna say it.
I think that's like 18 steps past the 3 seashells.
If you don't know what we're referencing, watch more movies.
Namely, Demolition Man.
Well, if you're just gonna give it to him.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him what movie to watch.
That was a good movie, by the way. A lot of Aldous Huxley, Brave New World references.
We're all over the place tonight, guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that is a book, isn't it? Cinefanatics, now sponsored by Santori Whiskey.
Just Jack Daniels for me. You got...
Bullet Bourbon?
Bullet?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's just a good, simple...
I had a bottle of Jack because I was mixing it with Dr. Pepper, and you don't mix good whiskey with Dr. Pepper because that's just silly.
I wanted a good one to like sip on, but also something I can mix with honey for the throat.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll go with Bullet. 3 seashells. Is that a Little Mermaid reference? Only if the Little Mermaid was that one alien in Total Recall. That's a good reference right there. I don't care who you are.
Are we calling those seashells now?
Well, if
there's 3 of them.
If she was wearing 3 seashells, yes.
Uh-huh.
That's a great reference right there.
AJ Lancaster says Demolition Man just makes him crave Taco Bell.
Well, unless you're overseas and it makes you crave Pizza Hut. The international version didn't know what Taco Bell was, so on the international versions of...
I gotta be honest, here in America we don't know what Taco Bell is.
No, we do, because they're trying to introduce the Trilupa during a toilet paper crisis. That is so stupid.
I hate that there's a chance that this coronavirus nonsense is going to go down as the toilet paper crisis.
You need to stop talking about it. Stop mentioning it by name.
I hate that this the COVID stuff is going to go down as they...
It's not much better.
The Rona is going to go down.
Jake Yakovetov, we finally have a blue moderator in the chat.
We have a mod here, yay!
Who's telling me to quit touching my face. My hands are clean. I've washed my hands directly before I sat in this chair. I've only touched the stuff right here, which was already clean. But thank you for looking out for me, Jake.
I'm clean. Our apartments are clean. My hands are clean. I'm not... Yeah.
Yeah. Tim Franco in the chat is saying it's Pizza Hut or KFC. I've seen both. I've seen the international version is referencing Pizza Hut. So what I was saying is in the international versions of Demolition Man, like in Italy, they don't know what Taco Bell is, so they know Pizza Hut, so they replaced all the logos in the movie with Pizza Hut. And if you watch, they dubbed over their voices. Instead of saying Taco Bell, they say Pizza Hut, but their lips still say Taco Bell.
But they're the actual names of the restaurants, so they're not doing it in their language. They're saying Pizza Hut or Taco Bell.
Yeah.
They're saying the English names for them.
Yes.
So while the person is saying Taco Bell, it's doing here say it.
Yeah. So tonight I will invite you to dinner tonight at Pizza Hut.
There you go.
Well, that's in Japan.
I just did the Japanese dub for you. Here, I thought you were going to say it at the same time my mouth moved, and we would do a bit.
I had to catch my breath there for a second. Woo, can't breathe.
Dude, we got a party now. Eric Rodriguez, Nerd Chronic.
We got Nerd Chronic here. Yes, thank you, Eric Rodriguez, for joining us.
And he's literally eating KFC right now. The future is now. Hey, you know
what? That's awesome.
That reminds me. Also, during a toilet paper crisis, the double down is probably a mistake as well.
I don't think the double down exists anymore.
Does it not?
I think they learned the error of their ways.
That was a crime against humanity. It really was.
I had that thing too, and I was like, yeah, not a fan.
Yeah.
Here we are, 44 minutes in, voices still there.
Take that, Garth.
I wasn't going to say that. I'm not that mean.
I'm not that mean either.
Tim Franco, let's talk about how Lenina Huxley is Spartan's daughter. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that.
I'm gonna make fun of your voice the entire stream.
Because of the things they do in that movie? No.
Oh.
Also, I haven't heard of that before, so I'm kind of interested in that.
He also doesn't want to talk
that
about it
rabbit hole.
because talking more is ruining him right now.
Yeah. I love Demolition Man. Is like one of the stupidest, most off-the-wall 90s movies that's just pure 90s, and I love it. So I'm kind of curious as to where this rabbit hole goes, but it's not quite where I want to go right now this second.
K Wolf is here. Greetings, gentlemen. Welcome, K Wolf. Thank you for showing up.
Garth is saying I'm eating rat meat like Edgar Friendly. Fantastic. Yeah, it's a rat burger.
It also reminds me of Book of Eli, too.
Yeah. Oh,
Wait,
that was such a stupid movie.
What?
Book of Eli.
Get out of my apartment.
Wait. Here's the thing. It's a good movie. Completely preposterous.
Sure.
I don't want to ruin the ending to that, though.
No, I don't either. We're not going to ruin the ending.
Yeah, that one's hard to describe unless you have personal experience.
I'm just saying you'll never see it coming.
Yeah, funny. You'll never see the ending coming. But
at the end of the movie, Mandarin pops up and it's Ben Kingsley.
Yeah.
And you'll never see it coming.
So you won't see the ending coming on it, but
It's a weird word to put emphasis on.
yeah, I didn't do that on purpose.
Yeah, you did. Let's move on to.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe that. There's a point I want to make, but I can't without revealing the end of the movie.
Sure,
we're just gonna pass on.
Just shut up then. I love Book of Eli, and if you say anything against it,
It's a good movie.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Not factually accurate.
I don't think I have gathered all of the movies that have shifted over this last week. I know for a fact Top Gun Maverick, A Quiet Place 2, SpongeBob. Nobody cares about SpongeBob anyway. All of those. Did I even have those written down for last week? I don't even know.
Can I do his voice now?
No, you can't. You can. I can.
Oh, fantastic.
I can do it. But yeah. So, Tim Franco says all the Bond films are streaming in 4K. Oh, minus the Craig era. You know what? I need to catch up on all the older Bonds anyway. But
I just need to watch them.
I still want to see the last Spectre. I still haven't seen Spectre, so I still want to see Spectre.
The only one I've ever seen is GoldenEye. Speaking of which, I guess since we're talking about Bond and we are a movie channel, sorry, I forgot her name. But there was a Bond actress that passed away a couple of days ago.
We can't say her name on this channel.
We can, because it's the character.
But you got to say it in the Sean Connery accent.
I don't know if I can do. Can I do the Sean Connery accent?
I'm still waiting to be impressed.
I'm still waiting to be impressed.
It's a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen quote right there. That's how deep we go here. The movie was okay.
No, that's it's a reference made in What Women Want when Mel Gibson's watching.
I'm still waiting to be impressed. That was League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh, okay.
I've been doing that quote.
Okay. I'm thinking when he's watching.
You don't argue with me on this.
He's watching Hunt for Red October.
Yeah. Eric says,
anyways, yes.
I'll make a Book of Eli quiz for Robert. That's funny.
So Honor Blackman was the actress who passed away. Famously portrayed Pushy Galore.
Pushy Galore.
On Goldfinger. So
why is she pushy? I don't understand.
I didn't say pushy.
Why is she so pushy? Why are you pushing her?
I did not say pushy.
She's pushy. Pushy galore. You're doing a lot of pushing over there.
Wow. Anyways, so
I love that bit. That was a fun bit.
I would say, like, even though I haven't watched the Bond movies, as a younger gentleman, that was the one that I would say stuck out more to me. Probably because of the name, but
he was 13 and went.
Oh, who didn't do that?
They said galore.
Yeah, exactly. It was the galore that got me on that. But I mean, that kind of sucks. I mean, I haven't watched Goldfinger, but I knew of this character enough that it stings. So, yeah, rest in peace, Honor Blackman. But
yeah, That's
The extent of my James Bond talk, apparently.
that's about as far as you can go with that. I need to refresh Streamlabs over here. By the way, guys, we do have that Streamlabs link up there. We do welcome all sorts of donations through Streamlabs. Definitely keeps these lights on. Actually, we want to turn these lights off and get new lights. So if you want to donate to that Streamlabs link, we would really appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, if y'all are interested in, like, real quick, like, behind the scenes, we are needing to change out the lights. We got some ideas of what lights we want to change out with. I have also went back and watched our previous tagline episodes, and we need another microphone.
Yeah, we got one right now that's sitting between us.
The sound on this is okay, but it would be so much better if we were actually doing like true like podcast style where we have that microphone like right here in front of us pointed at our mouths so we could give you the optimal sound quality that we can. So yes, if you would like to pitch in Streamlabs, Super Chat, anything would help. That would be fantastic.
We realize that there's a lot of really hard times right now. Believe me, we understand that. So if you can't, don't.
Yeah,
Please
absolutely.
don't.
Do not if you can't.
Right now, this is extra for us to be able to do more and extra stuff on the YouTube channel at the moment. But if you can and you feel so generous right now, we would really appreciate anything being given there. Why are you saying things?
Anyways.
You're saying things like Garth is going to latch onto.
We need it right here in our mouths. When did I say that?
We'll find out on the replay.
Oh, I guess I'm going to have to go back and replay that one because that was...
So which of these movies out, or which of these movies that have been delayed right now, I think, which of them stings the most for you in the moment? Keeping in mind that pretty much everything's been delayed.
Oh, man, there's so much. Like, I honestly, at this point, come the end of March, I was really looking forward to Mulan. I'm not a huge fan of Mulan, the cartoon. I've seen it a couple of times. It is a good Disney movie. But, like, I wasn't a huge fan of it. I don't feel like I just connected with it that much as I did, say, like, Lion King, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, or Little Mermaid. It might just have been my age. By the time Mulan, after Lion King, pretty much everything that came out, I just really didn't have a huge interest in. In fact, I'm going to reveal this. I just watched Hunchback of Notre Dame a couple of days ago.
That was your first viewing?
That was the first time I ever watched that movie.
I honestly thought you were just watching it again just for the sake of it.
No, I've never watched that movie.
Fascinating.
So I just watched it, checked it off my watch list on Letterboxd. Again, follow me on Letterboxd, Robert Adams MLP. My handle is also down below in the comments, or the description, not the comments. Y'all are going to make comments.
It's also on the screen.
It is? Well, yeah, it's the same as my Twitter handle.
Yeah, so, Mulan is a big one. I'm actually, just because the live-action Disney movies have just been so hit or miss, and they've been all over the place. I know a lot of people were expecting that Mulan was going to be like the first really great one. And you can make arguments as to whether or not one considers Jungle Book a good live-action treatment. And I did. I thought it was great. But for the most part, most of the live-action Disney movies, have been subpar, have been just okay.
Yeah.
Mulan is one, I think, that, despite the fact that they weren't including Mushu, which stings a little bit, it feels kind of like a travesty because, I want to see Mushu come back, but I understand, like, you can't really top Eddie Murphy's performance of him. So unless you get Eddie Murphy back, and it doesn't really necessarily fit the tone that they want to go for. Mulan, though, that's an interesting one. I think the one that stings the most for me, and again, this is just for me for right now, is the fact that F9 got pushed an entire year. They show us that Han is back.
Wait, what's wrong with the number 9?
They show us that Han is back. And all all of a sudden I'm like, awesome, we're going to find out in about a month. How did he come back?
No.
What happened there? No, you got a whole another year now.
You're going to find out next year why Han is coming back. Like, oh.
And that one hurts. That one hurts a little bit. Just because like I know they want to do F9, they want to do F10.
Wait, what's wrong with the number 10 now?
All of those keys on a Windows keyboard.
I love how he completely ignores this.
Yeah, because it's a stupid joke.
I love that joke.
Anyway,
that one does sting though, because
yeah.
I mean, when you get to the 9th movie in a series, I mean, let's look at how many franchises have
Harry Potter.
How many franchises have hit the 9th level and still have been this good?
Harry Potter, for those who like Harry Potter.
If you're counting the Fantastic Beasts movies,
no.
Harry Potter did not hit 9 movies.
Did it not? Oh no, it hit
7. It hit 7.
Yeah, 7 and 8 were split.
I think 7 and 8 were the Deathly Hallows was split.
For some reason, I was thinking 8 and 9 were the numbers that were split. So I mean, yeah, if you talk about the Wizarding world and you include Fantastic Beasts, then maybe Harry Potter doesn't count.
Here's the thing: how many movie franchises have actually hit a 9th part, not including horror?
Or Land Before Time.
Or Land Before Time.
Did Land Before Time hit a 9th part?
Probably, but by that time they should have hit Time.
That's an old one, guys.
That is an old family joke. We love telling that one.
That's an oldie but a goodie.
Yes.
The franchise has been running so long, they should have Time by now.
Yeah.
Time should have been invented. Kelsey's here. Okay, Kelsey. Thanks for coming.
Glad your hair is dry now.
She was dyeing her hair.
Or dying. Glad your hair is dyed. I don't know why dry.
Glad your hair dyed.
Yeah. Anyways, my voice is going out, so.
And so is his brain.
Right.
Yeah. So 9
Platinum blonde with pink and blue ends. Gee, I wonder who she's dressing up as.
Oh, no clue.
Not at all.
Sounds fantabulous, though.
It sure does.
So, yeah, Star Wars hit 9 movies. So the question is, how many movies hit 9 movies, and all 9 movies are considered good? Or at least decent?
Fast and the Furious definitely has its drawbacks.
Tokyo Drift.
Like, here's the thing. Tokyo Drift, on hindsight, you go back to it, it's actually not that bad. It was bad had they not continued the Fast and Furious franchise.
That's a feat that I don't think too many franchises are able to do.
To make a movie good.
Create more movies and make a movie good on
hindsight.
Make a movie good retroactively.
Yeah, that is impressive. I still don't think Tokyo Drift is not the strongest of the franchise, but it definitely...
There's no way.
And I know F9 was going to...
What's wrong with the number 9?
No. They were going to bring back... Lucas from Tokyo Drift. They were going to bring him back, like, I guess, Foley. He had, like, a cameo in F7, F8, whatever. But they were going to bring him back in, like, fully as a part of the team. It looked like.
He's now part of the family.
The family. So that again, retroactively, is going to make Tokyo Drift stand out that much more in the realm of the entire franchise.
Yeah. So that it stings. It stings that we have to wait a whole year for that one now. But one of the other movies that got pushed back, and here's the big one. I'll move into this one. This is part of our title. One of the movies that got pushed back shifted the entire realm of other movies in the series, and that's Black Widow.
Yeah.
Black Widow got pushed back to, was it November?
So, pretty much all the Marvel movies, they released the updated release date for all the Marvel movies, and it looked like they all pretty much just up and shifted over one.
Yeah, they did.
So, Black Widow is now taking the spot that Eternals was going to be taking. Mm-hmm. Eternals moved over to whatever the...
Like February of next year.
Like February, which was previously held by... I can't remember off the top of my head right now.
Nice.
But there was a huge slate. I think it was Thor. No. Possibly Thor or...
Thor is much later.
Thor was much later?
Thor is now in 2022.
Okay. So I mean, it just up and shifted everybody.
Everything, yeah.
And everyone pretty much just went like one release date over.
So we're all hoping by November all of this will be cleared up.
Hopefully.
I would assume. Hopefully. And so, yeah, they moved Black Widow back to that date. And this is, honestly, this is what I thought they would do. This is, I think it's the right move. It just puts a slight delay on their order of events. And I know it kind of, it makes things a little bit more complicated now because they're also releasing those Disney Plus shows in a delayed fashion as well.
I haven't heard anything about you're talking about the Disney Plus Marvel shows? I haven't heard anything about them moving.
Yeah, so I think they got delayed just a little bit. As far as I can tell,
I think it was it Winter Soldier and Falcon is still coming out August.
Falcon and Winter Soldier is coming out this year, and then so is WandaVision. WandaVision's coming out in like December. So those two got delayed just a little bit.
Yeah,
but I think that's the big issue now, is because you now have an MCU that has to balance between both movies and these Disney Plus shows, because they're going to be interweaving a lot more than say the Netflix shows did.
The only one I knew of that was key was apparently WandaVision. Stuff happening in WandaVision is supposedly leading like pretty much straight into Doctor Strange's next one.
Yeah, it's Doctor Strange 2, still bargaining. Yeah,
still bargaining. Doctor Strange 2, Groundhog Day 2, still bargaining.
Still bargaining. If you don't know what that is, you need to go back and watch our show from last week. It was fun. So yeah, that's kind of a huge deal, though. I mean, so this is, I think, predictable. I think for the most part we knew that Black Widow was probably not going to come out anytime soon, just like everything else is being delayed or sent to streaming.
It was as inevitable as Thanos.
The question was whether or not Disney was going to skip ahead and just go ahead and put it on Disney Plus, or if they were going to release it in theaters still. And Disney came out and was like, no, we're still committed to releasing this one theatrically, which I think is great. I think they need to release all of these big MCU movies theatrically. As much as I would love to see it on Disney Plus like next week.
Just so we can watch it now?
Just so we could watch it now. I don't think it's doing justice to the character of Black Widow, which has basically been long gestating in the creation of a movie process. People have been wanting a Black Widow movie since Black Widow appeared as a character in the MCU. And we're just now getting one in a post-Endgame world. A literal post-Endgame world. That's a joke. Dark joke. So...
Garth got it. It was Shang-Chi that was supposed to come out in February.
That's
okay.
Right. Yeah, so it makes sense, though. Black Widow still deserves a theatrical release, not just to be forgotten about on a streaming service somewhere, which it wouldn't be forgotten about, but it's still, hey, let's give this character her due respect. This character needs to have a story told in a theatrical setting. So I do like that they are committed to that. Danny Costa's leaving. Bye, Danny. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
Good night, sir.
And we need to have like some kind of like action does a salute or whatever. We need to have some kind of like goodbye, respect gesture.
We'll figure it out. We're only 6 episodes in.
We're never gonna figure it out.
We'll brainstorm this and we'll let you know next week.
I promise we won't. So. Yeah, I'm glad that Disney's committing to a theatrical release for that movie, though.
Yeah,
I think it's good. It is predictable that they move everything back, but I think it's the right call, given the circumstance.
The downside, though, is like when you put it in perspective, we're in April right now. Black Widow's supposed to come out next month. We're now waiting till November.
Yep.
For Black Widow.
And that's the issue. That's with all these movies, though. We were expecting to get all these movies within the next month or two, and now we have to wait either a half a year to a full year before we see them again. It is a bummer, but it's okay in light of why we have to.
Yeah.
As much as I hate it and as much as I miss the theater-going experience, and I actually want to touch on something that, unfortunately, Danny mentioned in the chat earlier. I say unfortunate because he's not here anymore. But the theatrical experience is a very special one, and I do miss going to the theater. It's been making the rounds on Twitter today, some of the audience reactions of Endgame, some of the key parts at the end of Endgame, and you hear like the audio of the audience reactions to those. Like,
I've actually watched a couple of these over the past couple of days
Captain
too.
America catching the hammer.
Oh yeah.
Or doing the Avengers Assemble with the
Oh
portals
yeah.
and everything.
Oh yeah.
Like, you go back and you watch these clips with the audience reaction. Man, it's chills. It is chills because it brings me right back to when we were in the theater and when we saw it, and just whooping and hollering in the seat. Like, Captain America catches that hammer, I'm like, yeah.
No, because I remember. So when you and I went to go see Endgame, like opening night, he caught that hammer. We were both like, "Oh yeah!" And then they did.
I didn't know I wanted this scene.
I remember distinctively when he did the whole Avengers Assemble. Oh, we cheered. We were a part of that crew that was just like, you know what? I don't care. We're going to shout and erupt and just, that was a moment right there that, like, I will never forget that moment. And I love the fact that we have YouTube and these kind of videos that can replay audience react. I'm not a huge fan of like, hey, let's record while we're in the movie theater. But for that particular one, that is such an emotional feeling that I feel like everyone who was there, like the opening night weekend, all kind of felt that.
I make an exception for this one specific case just because I like the ability to go back and feel like I'm part of that audience again and relive that moment, because in the theater, and the whole theater erupted when we saw it, it was such a good moment. And I know like everybody had that experience in their particular theaters, but yeah, so that's something that's come out, and so that just feeds back into, I'm glad that studios are committed to releasing these movies that have been delayed in theaters instead of putting them on streaming services. As much as I want to see these movies, and I think while we're cooped up and quarantined and all that, it makes a lot of sense. Release them on streaming services. Let's see them. But it also shows, like I said in one of our past episodes,
probably last week,
it shows that studios are committed to the art form of the movie, not just the business side of it. Which, yeah, I think releasing movies theatrically is good business-wise as well. It is going to make more money than if you release it on a streaming service. But you know, you're showing your commitment to theaters. You're showing your commitment to how these movies should be experienced, the art of it.
Yeah, I
think that does a lot in a good way for a lot of these major studios.
Yeah, so fantastic that there's at least Marvel, Disney still committed to giving these movies their due in a proper movie theater. That's great. What else we got?
We got. I'll tell you what. We have anything that you feel like you can plug? Because I gotta unplug something. Well,
go unplug, and I'll plug some stuff here.
That's a unique way of saying it. I'll be right back. Can't do these 2-hour streams.
So, I mean, we're still, like, starting off on this. We're still trying to find our footing, which is actually surprising because due to my voice and how I've been feeling lately, I've been plugging away at the liquid, so it's funny that he got up first. Make sure y'all are following us on Twitter and Instagram, Cinefanatics MLP. You see both of our Twitter handles down below. Make sure you are following us. I know he's pretty active on like the social medias. I'm trying to work on it, so give me some time, y'all. I'm hoping to do much better than I ever have done as we continue to build this channel. Also, make sure you at least follow me on Letterboxd. I am keeping that up to date because that is a lot of fun. I am enjoying that Letterboxd account. Same as my Twitter handle down below. Make sure you come follow me there. Let me know what you recommend because, like I said, because of my voice and stuff, I've had like the past like 4 days off of work because I've been hacking and coughing. They didn't want me at work just in case, things. So I've been catching up on some movies, some that I should have seen, some that I've seen before, but make sure you come over there, check out my wish list. Let me know what you would recommend. What should I stop doing right now and go watch this movie? Because I know there's a couple of them on there. And now he's back, and he's working on his Letterboxd. He'll have his up and ready pretty soon.
My apologies, guys, for the lack of professionalism. You should always stay hydrated, drink lots of water, but not right before a 2-hour show.
Of course.
So that's the thing. You should talk about Garth's comment here. Due to lack of movies in theaters, Cinefanatics will be changing over to Bibliofanatics. Tune in next Tuesday night for the book club. That will never happen to this channel.
Yeah.
If movie theaters die and there's no more movies, this channel dies and there's nothing left. we don't switch to book club. Oh, there I am.
Nerd Chronic Eric is asking, what is a movie you recently watched and would do a quiz for?
I know they did a La La Land one and I completely missed out on it.
Yeah, you missed that one because you would so dominate that.
I would love to do a La La Land one. If y'all do round 2 on La La Land, hit me up.
Yeah. For those of y'all who are watching who may not be familiar, Nerd Chronic Eric Rodriguez, who does the editing for the movie trivia Schmoedown, him and Schmoedown
does the fantastic editing.
Does
for
the
the movie
fantastic
trivia
editing for the movie trivia Schmoedown.
Throw a good adjective in there.
Yes, I should. Thank you for correcting me on that.
You're
him
welcome.
and the fantastic competitor Video Drew have been doing.
You can just call her Video Drew.
She's fantastic as well.
Yeah, she is.
They have been doing quizzes over on Video Drew's YouTube channel. She's got a lot of really good content on there as well.
She's doing a lot of good stuff over there. I'm actually really, really impressed with just how quickly she's just turned around and started hitting the ground running on that.
Yeah, so go over there, check out their quizzes. I've participated in a couple of them. Some of them have been good, some of them have not. Some of them have been really good. I know they did I participated in a Ninja Turtles quiz. They did a Saw one last night that I wish I was participating in, but the voice just was not there for that. So
yeah, you would have sounded just like Jigsaw though.
I want to play a game.
Excuse me, Billy.
Billy the Puppet, good reference. There you go.
Well, I mean, it's technically Jigsaw, but I don't watch the Saw. I don't do horror movies.
Oh, that's right. So I played. I forgot about that. I played Garth and the Barbarian from Schmoedown. I played him in Small Soldiers Trivia. I haven't seen that movie in over 10 years.
Don't make Garth feel bad for losing now.
I don't think any of us. I think all three of us were yeah, we haven't seen this in a while, but sure, we'll do trivia on it. So.
Yeah, Robert beat me in Small Soldiers Trivia. I haven't seen that movie in 10 years.
Well, no, everybody was saying that.
Thanks, man.
I don't mean to make it sound like that. I don't mean to make it sound like anything. Yeah, the voice is going now. 73 minutes in,
nice.
And it's finally wanting to kick the bucket.
Good job. Well, we still have to hit that main topic now. I would love to see if I can pull this article up.
I'm going to jump off real quick.
You're going to do that while I'm trying to pull up an article. Guys, this is some interesting stuff because we have to talk about this. We have to talk about South by Southwest because we live in Austin, and that was kind of one of the big money makers of our city. We did a whole tagline episode about this before.
I think it was our second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Was it really?
Yeah.
So how time flies.
So here's the thing. We're in our 6th episode of the tagline right now. Our first episode, we started that off talking about how James Bond No Time to Die was being pushed back. Our second episode was about the cancellation of South by Southwest.
Man, here's the thing,
this is a great time to start a movie channel live stream show.
A lot of stuff in the world right now is a big bummer. A lot of really negative, just awful stuff happening. So I don't want to say that us and what we're doing is top tier of all the bad stuff happening right now. But it is kind of a bummer that we wanted to start this show, and as soon as we start it, the world just falls into chaos, and there's starts to be little to talk about movie-wise.
I think we had planned to start doing a live stream show back in January. We're okay, we're going to do a weekly live stream show. We've actually been talking about it before then.
Yeah, we've been talking about this for a long time as to how we wanted to do this.
I think October-ish. of last year, and then like in January we're like, okay, come like the beginning of March, starting in March, we're going to commit to a weekly live stream show where we talk about movies.
Yeah.
That was a blast.
It's so crazy how like quickly things change. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, so that being said, South by Southwest got canceled. That's one of the big breadwinners for the city of Austin. Again, it brings in like last year brought in like over 350,000 people to the city for, I mean, a huge economic booster for the city.
So for Austin, you have primarily South by Southwest and the Austin City Limits Music Festival.
Yeah, ACL.
At the end of the year. Those are two major moneymakers for the economy of the city of Austin.
Yeah.
And South by Southwest canceled a week before it was supposed to start.
And I think that's when we started realizing, hey,
some stuff's about to go down.
This might be pretty serious if they're actually canceling South by Southwest. Well, Amazon comes to save the day here, and you know, whatever you think about Amazon, how it runs as a corporation and whoever runs it and all that and what they do and all that aside, Amazon swoops in with their Prime Video.
Mm-hmm.
And they are going to release a 10-day streaming event where they're bringing a bunch of the movies that were supposed to premiere at South by Southwest. Probably not the big ones, but
yeah.
a lot of the say like the Book Smarts or the Peanut Butter Falcons that were at South by last year.
Mm-hmm.
Those levels of movies,
the movies produced, that we passed on going to the premieres.
You don't have to say that. Good Lord, dude. Learn. You need to have camera etiquette. You don't say that.
Well, okay, in all honesty, that was our first year at South by, and we're like, okay, so we need to go do this, this, and this. Let's pass on this, this, and this. And then, like, later on in the year, these movies are getting critical acclaim. We're like, we could have gone to the premiere of that.
There will be some conversations had off screen. Just know that.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, we've learned from this.
Okay, so the Peanut Butter Falcon and the Booksmart level of movies, the independent features that don't have the biggest studio funding, but are still ones that need to get out there and people need to see them. I believe those are the types of movies that Prime Video is now looking at airing for the 10-day streaming that's going to happen from the South by Southwest catalog. Yeah, I think that is awesome.
Yeah,
because the key here is that they are making it free for everybody in the USA. So the kicker is it is for the United States. Understandably, they can't do this for the entire world. This just takes a whole lot of effort to be able to make that available for everybody. But they are doing it for free for everybody in the United States. And when I say free, it means that you don't have to have a Prime Video account in order to watch these movies, which I think is an incredible thing to do.
Yeah, especially if you're given the amount, how much does it cost to have that film badge to go to South by to begin with?
If you get the tickets, I'll reveal the cost here. If you get the tickets when they first go on sale at the South by before, the year before, they're roughly about, $800 a badge?
Something like that. That's just for the film badge.
That's just for film, yeah.
That's not for music. That's not for the interactive part of it.
Or the Platinum, which is all three.
Or the Platinum. That's just your only film badge. You pretty much will get into, like, the movies you want to get into with that badge.
Hence why we haven't done South by a whole lot.
Yeah, we did it that first year only because the year before I had the ability to buy both of those badges for us, and that paid off fantastically because that was a great time at South by.
It was great. I loved. I'm not a horror movie person, but I really enjoyed getting to see the premiere of Us with the premiere crowd. Yeah, that was awesome with the entire cast and Jordan Peele there. Yeah, that was great. But I think this is a really unique and a really awesome thing that Prime Video is doing right now, especially because they know people are quarantined. Yeah. They know they're not going anywhere, and they are pretty much just watching all of the streaming services and movies and TV shows that they can right now. This provides what we all missed out on for South by this year. It provides 10 days worth of that content for people to be able to now watch on their own in their own homes, which I think is great because it still gives spotlight to these filmmakers and the people who spent a lot of time over the last year or two creating these films to be seen in front of a crowd. and don't have that opportunity because South by got canceled.
Here's the other thing too. If you look about the long game in this, is these movies are being premiered essentially on Amazon. People are going to be, say, like more inclined to watch this because of the exclusivity of the fact that these movies were supposed to premiere at South by. Now all of a sudden you can see it on Amazon. Everyone is essentially, the idea, I would assume, is that everyone's going to jump on board, watch those on Amazon, and now they're going to be like, oh, this is what I could have seen had I gone to South by. Well, I want to go to South by next year because it's fantastic. If I could have easily just dropped into the premiere of this movie, like Booksmart was highly acclaimed last year.
Everybody who saw it pretty much loved it.
Yeah. So, had you go to see it, you're like, cool. I went to the premiere of that. We went to the premiere of Us, Beach Bum. I saw Curse of La Llorona.
Pass on Beach Bum, by the way.
Yeah.
Unless you're
gotta like Harmony Korine.
Yeah, unless you're a Harmony Korine fan, and then it's right up your alley. Otherwise,
yeah. I saw Curse of La Llorona and Pet Sematary. Like, it was great going to the premiere of these movies.
Yeah.
You get that kind of an experience right now on Amazon, with the ability that it's potentially going to put in your head, like, I would like to experience this live in a theater.
The cast is going to be there. The
cast and director, producers, people are going to be there watching this movie with them. Fantastic. And I think essentially it's going to be a great way to build some kind of PR for South by.
Yeah, I think, if you look at it from the business aspect, yes, this is a great public service. It's a great PR move. It's great marketing for what South by Southwest does and is. I think also this gives us the opportunity, potentially, because of how just crazy this year is in terms of movies right now. You're looking at where we go into, typically when we start getting into the fall, we're going to have the... Nice.
That was weird.
That was cool.
I put a drink down and it sloshes all over the place.
They decided to jump out the cup.
Yeah. And it was like, I want to participate too.
Yeah. Typically when we go into fall, start getting into those months.
Glad the whiskey's not doing that.
Careful. You start getting into the Oscar movies, the ones that are typically trying to vie for those nominations. Now we have a situation where you're now presenting these movies that were otherwise forgotten about in terms of Oscar conversation, namely, like, say, a Peanut Butter Falcon, which could have been nominated for something, but now you're looking at releasing that to the public for its premiere. And that means it's going to be on streaming service for more eyes to see starting now. I would say that you have more of an opportunity now to get those kinds of movies in Oscar talk, even moving into the fall.
So my question with this, though, is because of the current situation that we're in right now, are these movies that are being released on Amazon Prime for this 10-day event, are they going to eventually... maybe, possibly, still get released to the theater? And if not, are they potentially still in Oscar contention? Do we now have to include, just for this year only, movies released straight to this Amazon Prime? As long as it's a part of this 10-day event, these movies are allowed to be in Oscar contention. How do you plan... The Oscars this next year are going to be wild.
Sure.
And I can't wait to do a live stream on that too.
I think the situation that you fall in now is that you have the opportunity to have that conversation where it's like, hey, typically we ask for films to be released theatrically in order to be in talks and in consideration for an Oscar of some sort.
Which Netflix has done.
Netflix did that for
Roma.
They did that for... I think they just did that recently again.
Irishman.
Yeah, they did that for Roma and they did that for Irishman. And
Marriage Story.
Marriage Story, and I want to say what was the movie, like Mud or Mudbound or something like that?
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I think one of those. Anyway, so that's beside the point. Video Drew is here. Video Drew.
Speaking of Video Drew,
There she is.
she is in our chat.
Video Drew is here. Back to you, whoever.
Don't take her bit.
No.
She's really good at that.
Yeah, she doesn't want people taking her bits. You've seen that tweet.
Yes.
Anyway. Hi, Video Drew. Thanks for popping in. We are glad to have you here. The situation, though, the conversation you can now have is, all right, we should start talking about whether we do include movies that premiere streaming only or streaming first or what have you. Maybe we should start talking about those in contention for these awards. Because, in special cases like this one, where those movies couldn't premiere theatrically, they could only premiere through streaming because the festival they were going to premiere at was canceled.
Yeah.
Are we going to discredit those films? Are we going to discredit those films from award contention because of the pandemic? Is that what we're going to do? Are we really going to play that game? No. Okay. Well, where do we draw the line? Why is this year a special case, and it's not okay to include any future year where these movies release on streaming in talks? I feel like that's the conversation you now have. This is going to push that conversation forward, which it's going to do a lot. It's going to do a lot for, say, like a Netflix and Amazon and Hulu and all that. Not that I would think like a Bird Box deserves to be an Oscar doc.
Yeah. Well, luckily we're beyond that possibly happening, so.
Yeah. So, you're staring at the chat. You want to say something?
No, I just like Video Drew's comments. Speak of the devil, and she will blah 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 blah. So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting, and this is the thing. I believe we're gonna have to wait to see how this year continues to progress.
Yeah.
Again, going back to what I said, I think last week, this is a very interesting time to watch how movies are going to play out. How is the entire movies, studios, theaters, audience, the whole reaction to everything?
Because this is unprecedented.
It is completely unprecedented. Quick behind the scenes, I was talking to our mother earlier today, and I was like, I don't think we've actually had this kind of a scenario happen. Except like when influenza first came out, like way back whenever the flu came out.
Did we have movies then?
I'm a movie junkie, not a disease junkie. So,
welcome to Ailment Fanatics.
So back when the flu came out, again, that came in. That might have been what they referred to as the Black Plague. I can't remember my history so well.
Just the plague.
Yeah, but I mean, how did life correct itself after that? Yeah. That's what we're potentially looking at right now. How are movies and modern day technology going to correct itself after this? And I'm very, very curious to watch how this is going to...
Yeah, I mean, all of it is very interesting. Believe me, I would prefer...
not having to do this.
Not to have to do
Absolutely.
Any of this. But since we're here, I'm really curious to see how it all plays out.
Yeah.
Video Drew actually brings it up. She says, she thinks the issue is whether this year's exception is a precedent or an anomaly. And I think that's true. That's roughly what I'm trying to get at.
Is the Academy going to have to make some kind of an exception for particular movies, how they're displayed, how they're presented to the public?
Yeah.
Because these movies still need to come out.
Yeah.
If there's especially like these like not major blockbusters, some of these movies, the problem is the longer they sit on them, the more money they're losing. Yeah. They need to release these movies.
Mutants.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe not so much for Disney because they bought Fox and just adopted that.
They didn't spend any money on that movie.
Yeah, but I mean, I know Disney would like to see a nice return on an X-Men property.
Yeah.
But some of these, like...
We'll get it on Deadpool.
Some of these lower movies, I would say lower. But, yeah, lower. Luke, I'm your father. Anyways, some of these lower movies, they need to be released. They need people to see them. and there's a possibility that they may recoup some movie should they be released on a streaming service.
Yeah.
And then, therefore, it doesn't become a matter of like, well, who's the, I guess, highest bidder as far as streaming services go, and will the Academy now acknowledge that streaming service as we're okay with the fact that this isn't getting theatrical play, it's going to go straight to the streaming service. It's still a movie.
I think Netflix capitalizes on that.
Yeah,
big time, because I think Netflix right now is should be making hand over fist. In terms of like viewership and all of that, because everybody's home, everybody's watching streaming, everybody's, they're not doing anything else, they're doing all the indoor activities. So Netflix should be thriving right now, and that's the situation. Not the pandemic situation, but the situation they want to be in is a situation where they are validated as an actual source of film.
Yeah.
A source where you go to see film.
And I think it's been a couple of years since they've been releasing original movies at this point. And especially you get movies like Roma and Irishman, who have been nominated, and rightly so.
And they got prestige behind them.
Yeah. Irishman was fantastic. I really liked Roma.
Yeah.
And these movies deserve to have that kind of prestige. It's time to ignore the fact that it's being released on Netflix and not necessarily in a movie theater. These movies have every ability to still be fantastic pieces of cinema without actually being in the cinema.
Yeah, because it's not like there's not the same amount of effort and work being put into them by the cast and the crew and everybody involved. There's still just as much work put into those movies as there are movies that get released in the theater. So are you trying to denounce that these movies aren't worthy of being recognized as true film? Because that's kind of ridiculous. So I think this whole situation has the potential, and it also might not, because I mean we're still looking at, most of the Oscar bait movies happen in the fall, and in an ideal world we're past this, before we hit the fall this year. So this might not even come up and be an issue, but I think it's just a matter of, once again, these movies that Primevideo is putting out from South by are going to be in front of a wider audience, and so there's more of an opportunity for these movies to be recognized in such a fashion. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. Video Drew saying, but Roma and Irishman were released in theater. Yeah. So that's what we're talking about is... Yeah, both of those movies were released in theaters so they could be in contention to be in the running for Oscars.
It's just another step in Netflix's plan to be validated.
Exactly. But now we're at the point where some of these movies may only see release through a streaming platform and may not reach that theatrical release. These movies may need to be released on streaming services only.
Yeah.
Do we need to reassess, kind of like what Video Drew was saying earlier? Is this because of like how we're growing, or is this just a complete anomaly? Do we need to start reassessing how these movies get nominated as far as the Oscars and look at the circumstances behind it, not just, hey, they have to be in a theater?
Is it the exception to the rule, or is it the rule going forward?
Yeah, and that's what's going to be interesting to watch with this.
Yeah, a lot of really interesting stuff, because I mean we're also looking at what's going to happen with theaters going forward. I know, again, I stated before that studios are showing their commitment to releasing these movies theatrically. Yeah. But the question is, how many of those theatricals are still going to be around for these movies to be released into? That's a whole nother conversation right there as well.
Again, when these theaters open, it's going to be full of first-run movies. That's going to be an eager weekend box office to watch.
The mom-and-pop movie theaters that barely survive on their own regardless, are they going to survive this whole deal?
Hopefully.
The theaters that are just like one-off theaters, they exist as you come to this location to see the movie. Are they going to survive this? I don't know. Your AMCs, which I know AMC is fighting through some stuff right now too.
Your AMC, your
Cinemarks, your Regals, and your Alamo Draft Houses are probably all going to survive this and be fine.
And the only reason we're really mentioning Alamo is because we're in Austin.
Well, it is a nationwide chain now, too.
It's a nationwide chain. It's not as big as the other three, but...
It's in Kansas City. It's in LA.
Yeah.
Video Drew might even know this. I can't remember if there's like one in New York.
There is one in New York.
There's one in New York. Yeah. So I mean, they've expanded beyond Texas. So very interesting.
Yeah. So we're in an interesting time. It's going to be really interesting to see how this goes, and we will continue to update you as this news continues.
Tune in at 5.
Tune in at 5.
We're never on at 5 anywhere, anytime.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
That's on the other side of the world.
Texas isn't a nation, guys. Thank you, Paul Denuzio.
Paul, you can give up that blue mod status now. Yeah. Texas is the best nation in the entire country.
Video Drew's like, yes, Alamo is in NYC. Yeah.
You never talk bad about Texas to Texans. Just know that.
Yeah.
I will replace your Jameson next time I see you with White Claw, and you will suffer.
Oh no, we'll do it with Oak and Eden, a true Texas whiskey brand. That's fantastic.
That's not punishing him. I'm trying to punish him right now.
I'm not going to give him some.
There you go. Got it. Dirt Chronic, Eric says never been to an Alamo. It's a treat.
It is a treat. You need to go to one at some point.
Are you okay?
No, the voice.
Are you alive?
Voice is gone.
Scooby Doo.
Scooby Doo, where are you?
Raggy.
Raggy. Anyways. We start by talking about Garfield. Now we're talking about Scooby.
Which that movie I'm pretty sure is getting delayed too.
Scoob? Oh yeah, Scoob's been delayed already. It just hasn't made huge news because it's Scoob.
That's an interesting one because the first show I was like, eh. Second show I was like, all right, they're making kind of like a Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe animated. I'm kind of into that. I want to see this now. Funny you never talk about Delaware to Delawareans, but you don't see us.
Is that actually the proper title? Is it Delawareans? I've never thought about that.
Is that what you're gleaming from then?
I guess. Here's the thing. I like what Audrey is saying. True, and bring it back to drive-in movie theater style.
Those I think are
we do have a couple of drive-in movie theaters in the Austin area, and I would love to see them. I don't know if they're still open because I mean there's no movies to be released. They're all getting pushed back.
Right now they're not.
Here's the thing. I would love to go see, say, like Star Wars, A New Hope in a drive-in movie theater. Ooh, no. And this is going to sound like sacrilege to those who really appreciate Star Wars.
Probably don't say it then.
Grease.
I mean...
No, think about it for a second.
Why is it sacrilege to Star Wars?
Because Grease is of the time era. They actually go to a drive-in movie in Greece.
To Star Wars.
No, because Star Wars is a great movie to see in a different version of a movie theater. But Grease was actually a movie that takes place during the drive-in movie era, 50s. During its heyday.
50s.
That would be a great...
60s.
I would love to see Grease in a drive-in movie.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, that would be my excuse to watch Grease again.
Yeah. Honestly. Video Drew saying slasher films. Yeah.
That's going to be more his style than mine.
I'm on board with that.
That's the fun thing you can learn about us is that he's the horror movie guy. I am not the horror movie guy. I like La La Land.
Yes.
Which I'm not saying that you can... If you like La La Land, you don't like horror movies, or vice versa, or whatever. That's just me.
Anyways, was there any other movie news?
As far as movie news goes, no. I think that pretty much wraps that up.
So we're at 99 minutes.
I would say if you guys got some questions for us, go ahead and enter them in. We're gonna, I think, briefly talk about the movie trivia Schmoedown a little bit.
Yeah. So here's the thing.
As briefly as possible.
Yeah. I mean, because
backstage today was really good.
And I watched like a small smidgen of backstage today, so I don't know what all was discussed, but I'm pretty sure it was all about the controversy.
It was fire.
So you might need to correct me if anyone has changed their opinion on this.
And I will.
So here's the thing. First off, going into this, for those of you who are watching this who do not know the movie trivia Schmoedown, it is like wrestling with wrestling storylines. There is movie trivia instead of actual bodies slamming against the ring. That's about it. It's fantastic. It's great to watch. We highly recommend you go over to the Schmoedown Entertainment Network. There's a couple of people in the chat right now during this live stream that are affiliated with it, including Nerd Chronic, who does the editing for the Schmoedown. So, the fantastic editing for the Schmoedown. So,
and Video Drew, who is a fantastic
There's Video Drew. There is Tim Franco, who have been competitors on the Schmoedown before.
Movie Fanobi is heading out. Movie Fanobi, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it.
Thank you. So, yes, going into this past episode, I didn't have a voice when we watched this.
That's right.
So, here's the thing. Unfortunately, we were busy throughout the week. We weren't able to get to the filming. This is going to be some behind the scenes. I'm going to give some behind the scenes spoilers away.
How dare you?
I know, but a lot of people like to know behind the scenes stuff anyway. So we just didn't have time during the week to get to it. We actually did not get to filming our reaction to it until Saturday night. I had no voice at all. So... real quick, we got Movie Fanobi with the $2.99 super chat. Adams versus Lamborghini because Cannonball Run. I like the reference. I understand the reference, and I appreciate your super chat.
Yeah, thank you so much. Really appreciate dropping that super chat in there. That means a whole lot.
And no. So I didn't have a voice, so we had this idea to play upon the fact that I really couldn't talk, so I was just going to be silent.
And at that point, you probably could talk a little bit, but you just shouldn't.
Yeah, it was one of those I really need
just
to... I need to rest my voice to make sure I'm able to talk, say, like, tonight.
Yeah.
Because there's no way this show is going to go on if I can't talk. So...
It would be very unique.
And very weird, and probably a little boring.
And my voice would be gone by the end of it.
Yeah. So I rested my voice throughout it, and we played up the Silent Bob aspect of it.
Which unfortunately makes me Jay, I guess, which makes no sense at all if you know me personally.
Snoochie Boochies.
Yep. Sure.
Anyway, so that was a fun video, a fun match to react to. Only because... there was so much I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, because that...
And I'm like, ah!
And you can't just not react to that match. Like, that's one thing we talked about, and even if it was just me by myself and you couldn't appear, we had to have a reaction to that. You don't not have a reaction to Who's the Boss versus The Odd Couple.
And that was the thing we were tossing around, like... do we need to possibly pass on this? And there's usually, like, last year there was like maybe one match we missed.
It was Riley versus McQueenie last year is the one that we missed.
Something like that. I was like, is this going to be the one that we missed this year? And we're like, no, we can't miss this.
Yeah, and especially since they're only releasing one a week right now due to the whole thing. Like, you don't just skip on that.
And this is prime opportunity to be releasing content on YouTube because everyone's at home watching YouTube.
Yeah.
So... I was like, we need to do this video.
Yeah. So it was a good match, though. It was.
Oh, that was a good match.
It was a tight, close match, as you expect for two teams that were top 5 teams that got to stay together amidst the draft.
Yeah.
There's two things that you got to hit on when you talk about this match. I'll save the controversy for a second. The first one I want to hit, though, is that, dude, Who's the Boss broke the team's record. That's incredibly impressive.
37. Kevin Smith fans will understand the reference.
Yeah. So, train derailed.
No, I'm just saying I like Kevin Smith. I'm willing to take on anyone at a Kevin Smith questionnaire or, Schmoedown.
Everybody knows. So 37, beating the team's record, and that's now on Bateman and Riley's shoulders, which I mean, it just makes sense. You expect that to happen to one of the top 5 teams.
Yeah.
So I think that was like something really impressive to highlight. Gamesmanship on both sides was great. You look at Odd Couple, though they did not win the match, they still walked away with 32 points.
Yeah, and I think we've mentioned it before in previous Schmoedown reactions. To play, to get 30-something points and lose is still impressive.
Yeah.
Like, you can't... How do you walk away with, like, 30-something points, being one of the highest scores ever done, and you still aren't winning?
Right.
That's super...
It just shows the level of competition that's in the league now at this point, and the competition is high. So that makes for anybody who wants to join the league as a team, it puts the pressure on them to make sure that they're good right out the gate. So,
speaking of which, didn't we score the same amount as both the teams at the end of first round one?
Roughly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, actually, yeah, for that one, yeah, we did. Yeah, that's interesting.
Nice to know.
We can do that from
Anyways, yeah, because the lights are completely different. Let's not sit here and like try to talk ourselves up. The lights are so different.
Yeah. So on the flip side of things, though, there is a little bit of controversy. I'm still waiting to be impressed. Sean Connery is still here, ladies and gentlemen.
Our greater adversary,
Junior.
Pushy galore.
Why are we pushing still? Stop that pushing. You cut out that pushing right now.
Welcome to the Sean Connery hour.
Yeah.
So there was the controversy of the very first question. The question came down to
which, of course, you're in a match with Bateman and Snyder, both who are top of their game when it comes to making challenges when they need to.
Yeah.
The first question right out the gate on that match, though,
who was the bad guy in Hobbs versus Shaw?
Idris Elba.
Idris Elba.
Elba. Like elbow.
Yes. So we went through everybody's answer. And Draco was the last one to answer on this.
Yeah.
On this particular question. He shows his board and he wrote Idris Elba.
Mm-hmm. Which he also
we have a friend whose last name is Alba. Yeah. He's been on this channel. He was on our Avengers Endgame review.
Yep.
His last name is Alba. If we referred to him as Aaron Elba, he'd be like, you guys have no idea who I am.
That's not my last name.
That's not my last name.
So, and so this is what they brought up on Backstage today, and I'm going to touch a little bit kind of on some of what they said and kind of my own viewpoints on this, too. Especially after having listened to that conversation. I'm of two minds. I think it's a very specific, unique situation where that ruling could have gone either way, and it could have been justified either way. I can't remember now what I even said in our reaction video, but there's a situation where, and Draco told that story at the beginning, like he has a friend who, was a part of writing that movie and had a big piece in it. And so he was very familiar with that. It was Idris Elba in it. Now, where I think the separation is that how does Andraco say come up, in how he speaks and how he phonetically hears words and names, and then how it translates when he says them himself.
Yeah.
To him, he hears Elba, and phonetically that Elba and Alba aren't that far. They are definitely different names.
Okay.
But they aren't that far phonetically speaking. And so
okay, so that makes
in his
sense.
mind he hears Elba, but when he speaks it comes out Alba, and so his mind immediately thinks it, in the direction of Alba. In which case, you write down Alba. I think that's Alba. He can't change that answer once 3 other people show Elba.
Yeah.
He just has to trust that the people who are making the call understand that he was thinking the exact same name.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean that makes sense. As you take a personal perspective into account on that,
Yeah.
and the thing is the Schmoedown is still young
Mm-hmm.
enough
Yep.
for that to be something that is taken under consideration. And since that was challenged, the Schmoedown went to the challenge screen. So unfortunately, we don't get to see the actual thought process. I don't know if maybe they revealed it on the backstage today.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't get to see if maybe that was brought up while they were deciding this challenge.
I think that might have been part of what went into the consideration when Christian was making the final call on it.
Yeah.
Because that is the situation. Christian was making that final call, and I think there's a lot of talk as to whether or not we are talking about a hard and fast rule that needs to be followed every single time, no matter what, no matter how that person hears words, says words, whether it's an accent. Like Alex brings up a good point here. Said hypothetically, what if Chandru made this mistake if it's part of his accent? You don't. I mean, where do you draw the line? Where do you maybe consider that discrimination if you're saying no, you said the word wrong? Well, you're talking in your accent. That's kind of messed up.
So this is where I would go back, and again, with the Schmoedown being as young as it is, I would go back and reference, like, let's look at actual game shows. Do we have examples from game shows where someone with either an accent or it was argued that person says a certain syllable combination a certain way? Maybe someone does say EL as AL, which, I mean, to you and me, L and AL are huge differences.
Yeah.
But someone else's dialect, the way they're used to pronouncing those syllables, may not necessarily be the same as what we're used to. And we're talking about this is now getting to the fine details of I don't want to call it nitpicking, but this is working out any and all bugs, issues, but something that the Schmoedown would eventually come across. This is starting to weed those out. And one thing I do like about this overall, regardless of what the decision was, if you go and you look at actual sports like football, basketball, or whatever sports are, if you go and you look at them, you have the referees who make calls. Yeah. There are times where referees make bad calls. You may not agree with them.
Or what a viewing audience considers a bad call.
You may not understand why they made that call because you, as the viewing audience, may not see the entire play. You don't know from what angle, like which referee, especially, I'm going to drop the facade. In football, there's multiple referees on the field getting it from different angles.
That's right. He's seen sports.
I have seen sports before. I do understand how they're played. There's multiple referees on the field, so they see stuff from a different angle, and like one of them will blow the whistle, throw the flag, and then they'll all congregate and discuss what was seen and decide on a ruling before the head referee makes the call over the loudspeaker to everyone. Yeah. So it's something like that.
This happens all the time in football where you know it's in question whether the foot was down on the line in order to call it a touchdown or not, and there's always like a flag on a play and all that kind of stuff. It is the same thing for this instance. It's not necessarily like, I understand there should definitely absolutely be a hard and fast rule as far as how an answer should be given in the Schmoedown. But in terms of needing to take into account how a specific competitor views something and sees something and hears something and says something, those things need to be taken into consideration also. To kind of divert away from that just a little bit, Bateman made the challenge call on Andreyko. 100% should have done that.
Yeah, I would have done that too.
It's 100% the right call for him and what he needs to do to try to win the game. He needs to make that call right off the bat because Alba and Elba are different names. They are. Now, what you're saying is like, the viewers watching sports, they're not down on the field, they're not with the refs, they're not with the players. They don't get to see the minor details of every single play. The refs do. We as viewers are not in the studio when they're trying to work out how that challenge should be played.
You have to trust like what is presented to you as a viewing audience, and it kind of the same in sports.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm making the comparison to referees. Is in sports, you don't agree with the refs. Cool, don't agree with the refs. It changes nothing. The refs are the ones who decide what happens. Their word is, and there are times I completely understand where the refs say one thing and we are shown as a viewing audience at home watching on TV the different angles that were filmed, maybe not the angle that was originally shown,
to give us as much information as possible to make
and then we're like, okay, no, he definitely was within the line before his foot or knee or whatever dropped.
And I think for us, that's what Backstage today was, because you had Andrejko on there, you had Bateman on there, and you hear it from multiple angles. You hear it from the angle of Roca, who's an outside source between the two. You hear it from Andrew Guy. You hear it from Brad Gilmore was on there. You hear all these different perspectives. You hear it from Christian, who made the call, and I think that's what that is, because we can't be in that studio. We can't hear the conversation that's happening between Andrejko and Christian, or between Christian and the other people who are helping to make the call.
So in this case, you have to be able to trust what you see, and in certain circumstances, for example, as of right now, you have Nerd Chronic Eric, who does the editing. He's there for the Schmoedown matches. Yep. He's saying, from what I could hear in my headphones with the clean audio, it sounds like he said Alba. I mean, it's completely a matter of opinion, especially who was there at the time in studio. And it's hard to be able to judge that right now. But Christian, I like the fact that we can.
Yeah, because Christian also said on Backstage today that and even Bateman said nobody was coming into question as to whether or not Andrejko knew that it was Idris Elba.
Yeah,
he knew the correct answer. It comes down to whether or not you want to consider how he says a word or phonetically hears a word. Is that different than giving a wrong answer?
Yeah,
inadvertently. So I mean, there's a lot of really, really interesting stuff there.
I just noticed the color is really bad on this shirt. Like, it needs to.
We're live right now, right?
Yeah, I know. This is a bad time to be noticing the color on the shirt is bad.
Nobody's caring about your color.
I do. I like caring about how I look. It's okay.
So, I think I see a situation where they are not awarding. They don't award the points to Andrejko, and I think there's a valid reason for doing so. I also see the situation that did play out, and they did award the points to Andrejko, and I think based on how Christian was describing the events and what information we were privy to, I get it. I understand why the points were awarded to Andrejko. Yeah.
So, as someone who didn't have the opportunity to watch Backstage yet.
Yeah. Dang it, Lucas. I was just tuning in to comment about Robert's collar.
Lucas. So, I completely agree with Bateman's challenge.
Yeah.
Like, Bateman was completely in the right to challenge that, but
10 times out of 10, yes. Everyone says it. He should be challenging that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of understand that now, I kind of understand, like, why that may have been upheld. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's interesting.
It's definitely something I think They said it on Backstage. I'll say it here. We're going to be revisiting this kind of thing over and over again. It's going to happen multiple times because you can provide as many hard and fast rules as you want, but there's going to be unique special cases that are going to come down to, hey, how should we apply a ruling to this specific scenario?
And here's the thing. I actually like when these controversial, I don't know, like Christian and the people behind the scenes of the Schmoedown, how they feel about this. But I like when these controversial moments come up because it kind of helps keep it interesting. It's something you're like, okay, how is this going to play out? How is this going to challenge everything? I kind of like that, and I'm interested because we're going to see a lot more.
Yeah,
there's going to be challenges that are going to actually press up against like what we thought how the Schmoedown worked. And it may change rules still.
And some people are going to be thinking there's inconsistency in the rules, but the consistent thing is that it's going to come down. It's always going to have to come down to, okay, this specific scenario, there is a factor here that wasn't present in past scenarios. How do we use that to figure what we do going forward?
Yeah.
This is just going to do nothing but add to the sports factor. I know a lot of people are saying that it might hurt the legitimacy of the league or whatever stupid thing they want to say. I don't know. But all I see it doing is just promoting the sports aspect of it even more.
Yeah. The only other thing I wanted to say in regards to this match that nobody else apparently was talking about.
Well, we'll find out. So go ahead and say it, and I'll tell you if you're wrong.
Was during the post interview. This was like the first time we saw like a completely different angle of how the post interview was filmed.
Oh yeah. You were just talking about from a shooting aspect.
It was filmed from a different. And here's the thing: like as someone who's held a camera and filmed things. Yeah, as we're doing right now, like I recognize shooting. Thanks, fantastic. I recognize how things are filmed and how they're shot. This was the first time we saw this completely like side angle.
Oh, it's interesting.
Giving my opinion of it, like
please don't.
I don't feel like it was completely bad. It just felt like a little jarring.
It's
but
different.
I understand.
You're not used to it.
I'm not used to it, but I like what it does. The meaning behind of it. If anyone's used to editing video, like in our chat, Nerd Chronic.
Or just call him out. Jeez.
Well, yeah, because I know he's the one who dealt with this directly. I like that being able to go between cuts of angles is good to hide like transitions.
Don't give away all the secrets now.
No, but I mean, for
is.
anyone who's interested in filmmaking and how videos are produced, that's a great way to move between. Well, which the Schmoedown's done before, but the Schmoedown has done like complete like clean wipes across the screen, and boom, we're on to the next thought, feeling. You actually see that white transition.
And in the past, that kind of situation, that kind of transition feels like it breaks momentum just a little bit on the interview because you do notice it. You're like, oh, all of a sudden.
And you're left wondering, what did I miss?
Wait, I'm missing something.
Yeah.
Now you just switch between another angle. It's like, okay, the conversation just carried on.
And it hides it.
You don't necessarily realize you're missing something.
And I like that. I definitely like
Which
that.
Which is a secret that we probably shouldn't be sharing, but hey, you know what? Movie magic. That's what happens.
Here's the thing. It's all about video editing. Yeah. And I'm hoping that, like, if people are watching, that someone's interested in continuing the video creation.
We don't do editing on this show because if we did, the show would be 30 minutes because I would be cutting a lot of his nonsense out.
But, I mean, that was just one thing I observed from this particular Schmoedown episode. We haven't seen it before. It is a weird angle, but
like anytime he speaks.
But I get the understanding of why they did that angle. And, I mean, I like the idea behind it.
Yep, it was a really unique, interesting... It's different.
Anyways, that was my thoughts that I wasn't able to actually give during the reaction because I couldn't talk for the most part, but I can talk now, so.
Anyway, guys, we've hit that 2-hour mark.
We're a little over that 2-hour mark. It's time to start wrapping this up.
I would say if there's any questions, anybody has anything they want to ask us at all, go ahead and shoot that in, like literally right this second.
If you would like to plug some stuff real quick.
Oh yeah, because we gotta drop what's going on next week too.
Well, wait till I get back.
Okay, fine.
All right, plugs other stuff.
So he's gonna go unplug while I plug some things. That's a unique way of putting it. Guys, there's not a whole lot happening on this channel. There's not a whole lot to necessarily plug. You can follow us both on Twitter you can follow the Cinefanatics MLP on Twitter. Obviously, both our Twitter handles are down below. I'm pretty sure he mentioned this earlier. Chris Adams MLP, Robert Adams MLP. I promise I do more on Twitter than he does, and I can feel comfortable saying that right now because he's not in the room to give me crap about it. So definitely. I'd say it's definitely good to follow us because you never know what kind of craziness we get up to on Twitter. Putting out stuff on thumbnails. Paul, only 2 hours quitters. Hey, look, not all of us can go. Not all of us can have the stamina right now for a 7.5 hour stream. Although I feel like we did pretty well on the Call to Action 1,000 subscriber celebration, the 2-year anniversary of Call to Action, which if any of you in the chat have not seen that, it's a good one to power through. It was a lot of fun. Did a lot of fun stuff on there. So we might end up going 2.5 hours just because we do have an announcement for next week that we want to make here at the end. I'm gonna wait for his slow butt to get back here. Hurry up! But that's probably like really loud into the mic, guys. Sorry. But yeah, you did fair. Yeah. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Anyway, yeah. So a lot of places you can follow us. Get on the Twitters, on the Twits, on the Instagrams. You can get onto the Facebook group. It's, I believe, facebook.com/groups/Cinefanatics. I didn't do my arm gesture there. That's fine. I don't care. Oh, look, you're back. That doesn't make any sense anymore.
Oh, well, I just heard the...
Anyway, we do want to thank everybody for popping in and hanging out with us tonight. It's a lot of fun. It's been really good. We actually had some movie news this week to talk about, and we're kind of hoping that there's at least a little bit of movie news to talk about next week because it's going to be awfully fun to talk about that with the special guests that we're going to have next week.
Yeah, so next week will be the first time we're actually going to have a special guest on the tagline.
Means that we aren't probably going to be doing it in this fashion. We're probably going to be doing Streamlabs next week just because...
I believe we're going to do Streamlabs because unfortunately our special guest is not here in Austin.
No, our special guest lives in Los Angeles. It is the one, the only... The Outlaw John Roca will be joining us on a Cinefanatics tagline show next Tuesday. So if you're still here right now and you're watching us, you're privy to that information at this moment in time. I believe we already have enough information. You can get that thumbnail. We can almost set up the stream for next week right off the bat. But I'm super excited because we've not had a guest on this channel outside of Jake, who is, Jake's probably not even in the chat still, but Jake, who has made his way to Texas for work reasons, hanging out with us on some reactions. So it's really cool to be able to get someone like John Roca in on this channel and to hang out with us for a couple hours.
Yeah. So
I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, so am I. Eager to be able to pick the brain of the Outlaw. He has like so much like history, not only in the Schmoedown but in movies in general.
Just being a part of like movie news outlets and all that stuff.
Yeah, so we're really eager to see like his thoughts, feelings, opinions on stuff. So we need to start figuring out like questions we want to ask of him while we have his presence with us. Sure, I can't word anymore.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun. We hope that everybody tunes in next week. As of right now, it's going to be the same time, so which is great for him because that means I believe he's going to be going back to back. He's got his own show, so what I'd say is go ahead and tune in to Outlaw Nation next week.
Yep.
Give him all the likes and the follows and the views and everything on his channel. And then we'll just do a Outlaw raid onto our channel, about 30 minutes or so after he's done, however long he goes, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a blast. I'm excited for it.
Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Cinefanatics MLP for any updates if we need to change anything in regards to next week. Follow us both at our Twitter handles that are down below.
Which I mentioned while you were unplugging.
Okay, cool. Because I mentioned them too while you were unplugging. So we've covered all the bases.
Yeah. I can't be understood. I'm just super excited for next week because we've had conversations with Roca anytime that we've been in LA, and he's just a blast to talk to. He's a fountain of stories and all kinds of fun stuff. So it's gonna be a lot of fun getting to chat with him about movies and all the whatnots of the life and times of John Roca.
Anyway, so that's gonna be. I can't talk.
Yeah, so that's gonna go ahead and wrap it up for us this week. Once again, guys, we want to thank you for jumping in and hanging out with us. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Hold on, gotta get the engineering tools available.
Someday we'll have an RB3 of our own.
Yeah. Anyways, so you are good with that?
Good with what?
Ending it.
Yeah, roll it.
Anyways, that's going to be the end of this episode. Thank y'all for joining us. We will see y'all again next
Just
week.
keep going. You're doing great.
And this has been the tagline. Y'all have a fantastic night.
See ya.
Later.